morning, everyone, and welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Gumball Sports Machine. I'm your host, Jamal Gumball, aka Gumball, and alongside with me today, Big Kev, who looks very excited to be here. Kev, did you get some more sleep tonight?
I'm not even gonna lie. I got tons of sleep last night, but you know what helped me went to sleep faster?
Huh?
Watching the Boogeyman movie.
You watched the Boogeyman?
Yeah,
Why'd you watch the Why'd you watch the Boogeyman?
because for some reason I sleep easier and I sleep quicker when I watch horror movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm the complete opposite, bro. If I watch a horror movie, I'm not going to sleep until like 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. And I have to have like Blue's Clues on or something like that, dude.
Nah, bro, you fall asleep faster.
but um, but Kev, always glad to have you be here. Um, so I'm just about to get violently. All right. Anyways, let's start off as we do every morning with our first segment of the day. We go over the top sports stories that happened over the day, over the last 24 hours. And that segment is called Something That You Want. NBA Finals concluded last night. The Boston Celtics bring home their 18th NBA championship to take the lead away from the Lakers. And the Celtics now have the most NBA championships in NBA history. Last night, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown led this time is the lead for that NBA championship Celtics team. So and they beat the Dallas Mavericks in 5 games. Last night wasn't really too competitive from the jump. So, Kev, what were your and we're definitely going to get more into it here in a few minutes. What were your initial reactions from the game and the series overall?
A lot of people are gonna think I have a time machine, because I was able to tell and actually predict Celtics in five. Even myself included was very surprised, but that I even got a spot on. But I mean, if you even look at it and analyze like how the teams were to go into the finals matchup, I mean, it looked like there was a one-sided matchup because the Celtics just looked like they were ready from the start. I mean, 64 wins in the regular season, that's very impressive. They just have a team to win it all. The Dallas Mavericks, they're a team that I think caught fire at the end of the season that led into the playoffs, and I think that fire just went out in the finals because they looked like they were gassed. They look like that they use all their energy against the Clippers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves. And when you have to use that much energy the whole entire playoffs, when you go to the finals, you're gonna get demolished by a powerhouse team like the Celtics. So for me, it was just a series where a lot of people thought it was gonna be a sweep after Game Three, and then seeing Dallas win Game Four, people were like, "Hold up." But for me, I had no doubt. I mean, I knew Celtics were gonna win pretty early. I didn't think it was gonna go the distance, and that's just my initial thought about the whole entire series.
Yeah, we both thought the Celtics were going to win. I thought that the Mavericks were going to put up more of a fight. Obviously, Game 4, they win in historic fashion, but didn't really change the outcome of the series overall. I definitely thought my original pick was Celtics in 7. I thought Luka Doncic was going to come out and he was going to have another statement series. In the biggest moment, I thought Kyrie Irving was going to come out and play against his old team, go back to Boston, and really show them what they're missing. Neither of those things happened, at least on a consistent basis. Um, so, congrats to Boston. Congrats to Boston. They earned it. They were the best team all year. Obviously, 64 wins in the regular season, losing twice in the 3 rounds leading up to the NBA Finals. So they were the best team in the league for a reason, and they showed you why here in the NBA Finals. So, again, congrats to them. Congrats to Jaylen Brown for the Finals MVP. Much deserved. And that's also something we're going to get into here in a few minutes. Jeff Van Gundy, former NBA head coach, former color analyst for ESPN for I think he was for TNT for a little while too, but he is set to be the Clippers' top assistant coach. That was made official this morning. Um, so, Kev, is Jeff Van Gundy, is that going to help the Clippers? Maybe bring Paul George back, maybe help Kawhi, maybe bounce back from obviously missing the playoffs this year. What are your thoughts about that?
No, no, and no. Paul George is already looking like he wants to get out of there. Especially with the availability of Kawhi Leonard for ever since both of them left their respective teams and went and joined forces on the Clippers. I mean, you saw this past game four. I mean, Embiid and Paul George, they were sitting with the broadcast team, with the analysts, and Embiid like was talking about like how they're talking about help, and then he was like side eyeing Paul George. Maybe that's hinting at something right there. For me, I find it kind of funny. It's like a little bit of tampering right there. But if he goes to Philly, that's gonna be a good situation for him too. But I think Paul George is gone. For me, it's gonna surprise me a lot if he does resign with the Clippers. And for me, I think the Clippers championship window closed after the season. This is the season where I saw them having a good chance to dethrone the Nuggets in the West. But no one saw the collapse of the no one really saw the collapse of the Clippers. Especially leading up to the All Star game, they looked like they were hot, But then
Yeah.
after that, they just fell off of the high horse and they just collapsed. Um, with the signing of Van Gundy to the Clippers, I mean, I say in my opinion, it's a plus because I mean, he just won a title, and then now he's going to a team where they have championship aspirations. But I just think Paul George leaving, and I just think Kawhi's availability is always up in the air. It's always in question. So I think the Clippers championship window closes. And I think it's time to rebuild, retool, like how the Thunder did, and look at the Thunder now. So I mean, it's gonna take some time to rebuild, but it's something that every team needs to do. If you want to win a title sometime in the future for your franchise.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot with of what you said. Jeff Van Gundy, obviously, I think he's been a head coach in this league before. Oh, a little lag there, but he's established. He has a reputation in the NBA. He's established. I think he's going to go to the Clippers and have an impact. I think a positive impact. I think he's going to be able to help Ty Lue out. I think he's going to be able to give them a different insight on a few different things. But yeah, I think that this team needs a lot of work. I mean, I was like, I was I wasn't rooting for the Clippers, but I was on their kind of bandwagon almost. I was like, man, with how well they're playing after they traded for James Harden,
Both of us were.
and yeah, I mean, I think I remember I said that I believe they're going to go to the finals if they stay healthy. I don't know. I don't remember if you
I did
said the
have
exact
Nuggets,
same
but
thing.
I did say I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers could dethrone the Nuggets.
Yeah, because that's how well they were playing. That's how well James Harden and Kawhi and PG were all playing together, healthy. So they did have a run for a while there in the regular season, but injuries, Kawhi, James Harden didn't really show up in the playoffs.
Jamal, I think you're frozen again. So I guess I'm by myself. Jamal has some technical difficulties. Um, his Wi-Fi went down again. I don't know what else we're supposed to talk about, or if Jamal's gonna restart this, but we're just gonna have to wait.
All right. All right. Can you hear me now? Bro,
Yes,
I don't know what's going on with my wife. I'm gonna have to go get it checked out or something, but it is this is getting wild now. But there you
bro. I
go.
was
Okay.
about. You're
You do the show
lagging.
by yourself.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not doing nothing by
Am I lagging
myself.
again? Really?
Yeah, you're lagging.
Why? Bro, oh my gosh. All right, you got me now?
Yeah.
Okay. It should be like what is going on? Okay, bro, no idea what's happening. Here.
No, you're like cutting out right now.
All right, how's that?
A little better.
Okay. Um, all right, I forget what we were even talking about.
We're
Oh,
talking
Jeff
about
Van Gundy.
Van Gundy.
Yeah, so I think he'd be a good addition. Is he gonna help the Clippers get to a championship? I doubt it. Um, that Clippers team has a lot of work and has a lot of work to do and needs a lot of work, needs a lot of fixing. So again, it'll be interesting, but we'll see. Um, I thought I threw that in there. That came down this morning. Kristaps Porzingis to have surgery after obviously the Celtics clinched their championship last night. He's going to have surgery on that rare leg injury that occurred in Game 2, I believe it was. Do you think it was a good move for Porzingis to come in and fight through it, even if it kind of hurts him in the long run?
I think it's for him. It was the decision where he was like, "Do I want to, get this title and hopefully help my team out, or do I have to think about myself? My personal health and such and such." But he showed that move right there. What he did is a team player move. Even though like it could affect him in the long run, he did something that. I mean, I saw the stat sheet. He didn't wow anyone in the statistic category, but I mean, just his presence, out there on defense, 7 feet 3, 240, like he is a big man out there. So having him out there is a big plus. So I think it did help a lot, but for his health in the long run, he now needs to get surgery, and he might miss some extended amount of time.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't affect him too long. Kristaps Porzingis is a very good basketball player, and he had a huge part in the Celtics winning a championship, especially with his performance in Game 1. That was a huge performance to come out of the gate with. Um, so hopefully it doesn't affect him too much. Um, but he's a thug. He's a thug for thugging it out, man. He's a warrior for thugging out, getting his team to the promised land,
I
or
also
helping him
saw
get his team.
Joe Mazzulla needing surgery for his knee as well.
Torn meniscus. Yep, I did see that. Yeah, man, these Celtics are some warriors, man. Or no pun intended, but these Celtics are some warriors, some thugs,
Some
bro.
dogs.
Some dogs. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. But um, yeah. So with Porzingis, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully his surgery goes well, and we'll see him on the court in training camp and preseason next season. Lastly, I do want to talk about this a little bit. The news came down a few days ago, but Klay Thompson unfollows the Warriors on Instagram. Like that's kind of like the new I want out thing, or possibly I want out, or I want to get paid. Um, But yeah, he unfollows the Warriors. Again, that's not something we have not seen before from an athlete. Obviously, Debo Samuel unfollowed the 49ers last year. Ayuk did the same thing this year. Kyler Murray did the same thing when he was wanted to get paid. So again, this is not anything new, especially in today's age. Kev, do you think the Warriors are going to, or they should bring Klay Thompson back?
Before I go on this topic, I just want to say I don't know whoever it is that keeps that keeps looking up who athletes unfollow from their teams. Like they got so much time in their hands because I'm like, bro, you gotta be
Yeah.
sitting there with so much time in your hands just waiting for someone to unfollow. Then you look up there. I'm like, bro, like I don't know. But all jokes aside, I think it's something where if you're the Warriors, and you look at your squad, this is not contending for any titles. This is not contending for the top of the West. And if you're also Klay Thompson, what else do you have to prove? You have four rings. You have all the accolades that you need. Go ahead and just let loose. Your final seasons of your career. Just if you want to get paid, go get paid. If you want to go to another title and contend for another title, go ahead and do that. But your days as the Warrior, in my opinion, are over. I mean, there's nothing else you have to left to prove to the Golden State Warriors. You won with them. You have a whole dynasty with them. So just you know, it's something where I'm not comparing this to this situation because this is never gonna be a comparison. But look at what Tom Brady did with the Patriots. I mean, proven all he needed to prove. 6 titles with them, and then at the final stages of his career, he goes and wins another one in Tampa Bay. I think Clay should do something like that. You won a lot. Now you can go ahead and get paid or win another title with another team. In my opinion.
Well, if you know me, and Kev, I know you know me, and not like if you're any of my friends, you know me personally, you know that I believe Klay Thompson is the most overrated basketball players who ever touch a basketball, and there's a reason to that. Now, I'm not taking away any of his shooting ability. Klay Thompson is the second greatest shooter of all time. Second, third, he's
Top
I
five.
put top 5 for sure. Wherever you put him, I'm not gonna argue. But he's the most overrated basketball player to ever touch a basketball. He was never a superstar. He was never a superstar. Let's just get that straight. He was never a superstar. He can be an all-star if he wants. That's cool, fine, dandy. For his shooting ability, that's cool. That's whatever. But Klay Thompson is never a player that you'd be able to put on his own team and he'd be able to take to the playoffs. Never was, never will be. Again, he had a huge part in the Warriors dynasty. He did, but people just gave him too much credit for it. I think Steph had obviously 85% of the credit of the Warriors dynasty. Even in 2022, Klay Thompson won the second best player on that team. Jordan Poole was the second best player on that team. Jordan Poole was. And Andrew Wiggins was also phenomenal.
I was about to say could make arguments for Wiggins too because his two-way play on both ends of the court that season, phenomenal.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Klay Thompson was their fifth man. He was there to make a starting lineup.
Draymond was more important than Klay Thompson that season, in my opinion.
That's another great point. So I mean, and again, this is not the first time it's happened. 2015 or 2014 when they beat LeBron for the first time. Andre Iguodala was the second best player on that team. Klay Thompson wasn't even. Draymond Green was more important than Klay Thompson on that team. Again, this is not the first time it's happening. It's just not. People want to say Game 6 Klay. Yes, that Game 6 against the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals of 2016. Yeah, it was good. Where's the consistency? Where is the consistency? So, Klay, in terms of Klay Thompson getting brought back to the Warriors, personally, I wouldn't, especially for the amount of money he wants. I'm not paying an old, washed, beat up shooter who's going to shoot 40% from the three, which is good, but I'm not giving you $20 million to shoot 40% from the three and do nothing else.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. Klay says he's talking smack like this. You know what he's gonna do?
Because he has nothing else to do. He has nothing else to do. He has no other accolades. Klay Thompson has no other accolades. He has no Finals MVPs. He has no All NBA first teams. He has zero accolades other than the rings that he got carried to. Steph carried him in 2022. KD carried him in 2017 and 2018. Steph carried him again in 2014. Klay Thompson has 0 other accolades other than the 4 rings. Draymond Green has 3 defensive player of the years. Steph is obviously a unanimous MVP, a finals MVP, multiple regular season MVP. Klay Thompson has nothing else to flex except for the 4 rings that he got carried to. So Klay Thompson, I'm not paying you $20 million to come back and shoot 40% from the 3. Yeah, that's nice, but you do nothing else. Because you're not a locker room guy. You're not a guy that I just want in the locker room so that you can pick everybody up or teach the young guys or whatever it is you may do. So no, I'm not. If I'm the Warriors, I'm not bringing him back. He's old. He washed. He can't do anything for me. That I can't go out and find a guy who can do the same thing for $7-8 million instead of $20, $21, $22 million because of a reputation. I'm not going for none of that. So if I'm the Warriors, I'm not bringing them back. Unfollow me. In fact, I might block you if I'm the Warriors. So, yeah, go on somewhere. Go on somewhere. Maybe go to an Orlando or go to Indiana or wherever you want to go that whoever thinks going to pay you $20 million a year, you can go ahead. But I would not be surprised if Klay Thompson, by the end of the year, got a one-year deal from somebody for like $12 million. So, if you didn't know how I felt about Klay Thompson before, now you do. But that's going to conclude our first segment, Something to Chew On, after some technical difficulties and that I just can't seem to not get away from. But the finals did conclude yesterday. Boston beats the Dallas Mavericks in 5 to bring home their 18th championship. Boston was wild last night. They were having a good time. There was a bunch of people outside in the parking lot. Obviously, those fans are very passionate. I hate Boston fans. I hate everything about Boston. I've never been to Boston, but in terms of their fans, I hate them. I can't say anything about the city. I've never been there. That's another big reason why. That's another big reason why just Boston is just a dog crap city. No, I'm just kidding. But again, Boston, the actual city, I've never been there, so I'm not gonna say that. But their fans, I can't stand them. Red Sox fans, Celtics fans, Patriots fans, they're all terrible people. Again, they did close it out last night. Jaylen Brown won the MVP. Kev, I do want to ask you this because, and we kind of talked about the series a little bit earlier. Jaylen Brown, we put our top 10 lists out the other day, or last week, I believe. As of right now, after Jaylen Brown's finals performance, does Jaylen Brown make your top 10 NBA players?
I still have him top 15.
Why?
I just think the guys ahead of him, in my opinion, I had him at 10. I think he falls out of the top 10. I'll probably slide KD into that top 10 now. But I don't think Brown is top 10 because of the guys ahead of him. I mean, yes, you've had a good playoff run, but it's just the fact that these 10 guys I have ahead of him, they have just shown more than from what I've seen. Because I mean, if you go back to last season when he got that big, fat contract, right? A lot of people, they weren't saying, "Oh, he's a future Finals MVP." No, they were saying he got overpaid. He overpaid for a guy that can't dribble left. So in my opinion, no, he's not top 10. Winning this Finals MVP does boost his status up closer to top 10, but I think he's just like 13th, 14th for me. Like he's just right outside the top 10.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and I was thinking about it yesterday while I was watching the game. Jaylen Brown was the first ever NBA player to sign a $300 million contract. Kev, let me ask you this real quick. When you sign somebody, especially to that much money, what is the goal?
To win a championship.
To win a championship or multiple championships. In the first year of that contract, Jaylen Brown goes out and he wins the Larry Bird Trophy or the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and he goes out and he wins the Bill Russell, the Finals MVP. The first contract of that $300 million deal that everybody was saying he was overrated or overpaid. So, and Kev, you know how big I am, and you guys know how big I am on playoff success. Where are you at when it matters the most? So me, Jaylen Brown absolutely makes my top 10 list. Usually, if he was a better player throughout the entire season, I'd usually put him at 1 because you are the best player on the best team who won the championship.
Who would you take out? Who would you take out your list for Brown though?
I'd have to go back and look at it. I'd have to go back and you know what? Let me go look back and look at it because I might take out Book
That's big
because
coming from you. That's
I might
big
take
coming
out.
from you too.
It's because he earned it. He earned it. I might take out Book, but Jaylen Brown is higher than 10 for me. Um, where is my top 10 players list? Let me see. I don't know if I can find it.
Because for me, I still have KD ahead of him. Book and Brown is a toss up for me. Because I have
Here we go.
when I made the list, I had KD at 11, Book at 12. So if anything, Brown maybe passed Book for me, but I just don't see him sliding into the top 10.
I'm putting him above Anthony Edwards right now. I'm putting Jaylen Brown above Anthony Edwards. I had Anthony Edwards at 8. I had Anthony Edwards at 8, LeBron at 9, and Book at 10. This may sound crazy. I'm gonna kick LeBron out of my top 10, slide in Jaylen Brown at 7, and to 8, Book at 10. That's my list. Yep. Jaylen Brown at 8. Oh man.
You might get hate for that, bro.
That's okay. Y'all make your own list. That's my list. Y'all go and make your own list. Because of how well he played, man. He was so consistent throughout the entire playoffs. When Jason Tatum didn't show up, Jaylen Brown showed up. Last year in Game 7 of the Finals, when Jason Tatum tweaked his groin or whatever it was after they were down 3-0 to the Miami Heat, Jaylen Brown was nowhere to be found.
The Eastern Conference Finals, not the finals because the Heat
did I say
made
the
it.
finals? Yeah, the Eastern Conference Finals. My bad. The Eastern Conference Finals, when they were down 3-0 to the Miami Heat and came all the way back, to Jaylen Brown's credit, he said, "Don't let us get one," because they got one and then won 2 more after that, and tied the series up. Go to Boston for a Game 7 with a chance for them to make history. But to also his downfall, he said Jason Tatum went out. He tweaked his groin, whatever it was. He got hurt. So when they needed Jaylen Brown to step up, he was nowhere to be found. He made sure that was not the same story this year. He made sure it was a completely different story this year, in fact. Again, by winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP with Jason Tatum on the team, by winning Finals MVP with Jason Tatum on the team, he was just a more consistent, the better basketball player throughout the entire playoffs than Jason Tatum. And he much deserved the Finals MVP. So I could not be happier for Jaylen Brown. I'm in terms of the championship, I'm more happy for the players than I am for the team or the fans. Again, I hate Boston fans, but the players on Boston, I'm very happy for Jaylen Brown. I'm so happy for Al Horford. He deserves it. Jason Tatum, I guess. Drew Holiday. And that's actually a question I want to get to here in a few minutes. I got a question for you, Kev. But again, it's the more the players, and I am happy for the team. So Jaylen Brown, much deserved. But you know what? Let's flip to the other side of things. Dallas Mavericks, they had a great run. You mentioned it earlier, Kev. They had a great run in these playoffs to get all the way to the finals, beating the Clippers, beating OKC, beating the Timberwolves, and then now eventually getting to the Celtics, in which they lose in the finals. But are Luka and Kyrie one of the greatest backcourt duos of all time?
Of all NBA history, right?
All NBA history.
Like you talking about skill wise, or just like overall,
overall, like when you look at the Stephen Clays, when you look at the Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, when you look at the who's the other one I was thinking of?
because a lot of people forgot about Dame and
that CJ. That's the other one I was thinking of. Dame and CJ. Thank you.
Overall skill wise, and just their, both of them, how they impact, the team overall. Kyrie is one of the most skillful guards in players of all time in all NBA history, in my opinion. I'm not taking anything away from Kyrie. Luca on the offensive side of the ball, there's no argument. He's the most, I say top three most talented offensive players in the league right now. And if he continues, scoring the amount of points that he's scoring and just adding the rebounds and assists to the stat sheet, that what he's doing at the pace that he's going, he could go down as as one of the up there with Braun, having the most of all time, points, assists, rebounds. That's just how much how much I believe in Luca. But just what I've seen from them as a duo and what success from the team that I've seen them do together, I don't think so. Because they don't have anything else to prove except for going to the finals.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of pure skill, and again, this is something I've said before. I think Kyrie Irving is the second most skilled basketball player to ever touch a basketball. I think Kevin Durant is number one. I think Kyrie is number two, right behind him. There are guys who are obviously talented and work hard, but pure skill. There's nobody talented. There's nobody more talented than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So in terms of skill, yes, maybe you could throw Luka Doncic in there. I mean Luka and Kyrie in there. Because obviously, you mentioned Dame and CJ. I think Stephen Clay, I think mostly just because I thrown in there mostly because of the hardware that they bring.
I mean,
You know,
4,000 is
it's
you can bring that to an argument, and that right there is going to help you out a lot.
immediately, and so that's hard to argue. The Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars conversation, they were extremely good. So I mean, again, it's not like I think they need more time. I Kyrie, at the end of the day, Kyrie's getting a little older. Luca
You know
is
what's crazy? We forgot to mention Manu and Tony.
yeah, but oh, stupid.
Manu being at the two, Tony Parker being at the one.
They didn't start together though.
They didn't start together, but if we're talking about just like a duo, that duo was one of the longest tenure duos, along with Tim Duncan. But if we're talking about backcourt, they stayed for multiple seasons, like a lot, like about 15 seasons, or am I tripping?
That sounds about right.
So I mean, if we're talking
Oh,
about
you could
the
throw them in there.
overall the playoff success and just the success they had playing together, I mean, that should be up there along with the Steph and Clay, duo. We forgot to mention that, big props to the Spurs guards as well.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I'm not going to challenge you. I'm not going to argue. That's another great point. They also have the hardware to back it up. Or do you want to throw the Chris Paul and James Harden in there? Obviously,
I
they
would
have
throw
no.
it in there, but they just never they were that close to going to the finals in 18, but the Chris Paul injury really screwed them over in game 6 and 7. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't throw them up there, but if they were able to keep playing for 2 more seasons, they could have made it to the finals and probably win one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think 2018, if they go to the finals, they win. Again,
Also,
LeBron was playing at a completely different level that year, but I think that team would have been too much for
also
him.
if I wouldn't say if Harden was the player that he was in Houston, but if he stayed in OKC, him and Westbrook could have been a duo as well.
That's another one. Yeah, that's another one. So it's interesting. It's something interesting to think about. Didn't really think about it until like now, but I got a few more questions about the actual finals and some of the things. One is, well, I know my answer right off the bat. Drew Holiday.
Hall of
Drew Hol-
Famer.
yeah, yeah, Drew Holiday with the impact that he had. Is Drew Holiday a Hall of Famer?
Does he have any depoys or no?
No, no deep boy.
But he has first team all defense, right?
Yes. Oh, he has three all NBA first team defense. He has three all NBA second team defense. Two-time champion. I think 3-time All-Star as well.
If you look at all the Hall of Famers right now, um, you compare what he has done compared to some of the Hall of Famers right now. It's very comparable. If I would say yes, but to solidify himself as a Hall of Famer like right away, where it's not like it's up in the air. You're wondering if he is or not. I say if he gets 3 titles, I would say yeah. But for me right now, I would say yes, comparing to what he has done, how he's impacted any team that he's played on both ends of the court. He has the moments where if you need something big from him, like you said yesterday on the show, like you had a feeling he's the type of guy that would do that, and I just think like having that type of player. I mean, if you ever have a player like Drew Holiday, titles, championships are always, in conversation, whatever team he plays for.
So here's the criteria that I kind of not completely base it on, but and it's I don't want to take credit for it. Skip Bayless, obviously big TV personality. Obviously a lot of the things he says, a lot of people don't agree with. I mean, it is what it is. But the criteria he uses for any Hall of Fame, if you have to think about it, he's not a Hall of Famer. With Drew Holiday, I don't have to think about it at all. Drew Holiday is a Hall of Famer. Just because now he's not the superstar. He's not going to go out and compete for MVP every year. He's not going to go out and average 35 points a game. He's not going to do any of that. He is a winner. He is a certified born winner. Whatever team he goes to, he wins. Right? New Orleans. When he was in New Orleans, he was a 6 seed. They go into the 3 seed Portland Trailblazers, sweep them, get them out of there. First, the Bucks trade for him. The first year the Bucks trade for him. Title. He makes 2 of the biggest plays in the entire playoffs and in finals history. Comes to Boston. First year, Boston trades for him. Title. Again, he just makes big plays, and and it's not like he just has these stats that he has are just terrible. He still averages 16 points a game for his entire career. So he wink, and it's more the eye test than it is stats. It's more the eye test. When you watch Drew Holiday, does he scream Hall of Fame to you? Does he scream winner? Does he scream I want it more? Does he scream I need him on my team? Does he scream perfect fit? He screams all that. When you watch him play, he's a born winner. So if you ask me, if Drew Holiday were to retire today, Drew Holiday is a Hall of Famer. Now, does he get in? I have no idea, because the Hall of Fame committee just doesn't want to make up their mind on the criteria on some of the players that deserve to be in. Again, that's not just basketball. That's baseball and football. I'm just naming those 2 because those are the sports I know the most. But if you ask me right now, today, Drew Holiday is a Hall of Famer. But I do want to ask you this, Kev. Kyrie Irving, obviously, he did not play well at all during these NBA finals. And what everybody's been telling me, Kyrie Irving performs best when the moment matters most. Was he on the court in this series? Was he there? I don't know. I couldn't see him. I might need to get a new TV or something, but I didn't see Kyrie Irving anywhere. I just didn't. So in terms of this series, what does this do to Kyrie Irving's legacy?
I'm gonna get with that, but I just want to point out you have a bunch of haters on your comment section talking about Kyrie plays one bad game and then all of a sudden people trash. I mean, I would love to see him prove you and me, like otherwise. I mean, I'd love to see him prove us wrong, but I didn't see any consistency from him this whole entire playoffs, especially in the finals. He had one good game in Game 4, in the whole entire finals.
And even that game was okay. It wasn't even that great.
And then like I said, you and I said he's one of the most skilled basketball players of all time. But like you said yourself, when it comes to playoffs, if you don't show up, you're gonna get criticized, and that's what happened. I mean, before I think for the first 3 games, he was like what, averaging 14 points per game,
14
and
points and 0% from three.
and not to mention on the defensive side of the ball too, people would target him the same as they target Luka. I mean, it's not like he's stopping anyone like Drew Holiday. And
Right.
and if you're not playing defense, you got to step it up on offense, and he wasn't doing that either. So what is he out there for? He's out there to what? To condition, to run around. I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, it looked like he was trying to put some shots up, but they weren't going in. And a lot of people were in the comment section where we're talking about, watch him bounce back, watch him drop 35, and then win it all for the Mavericks. I mean, I'm still waiting. Is it next year? Is it the year after that? Definitely in this year. I'll tell you that for sure.
And Kev, you are preaching to the choir because we've talked about it multiple times. Where has Kyrie Irving been at? People want to tell me, oh, Kyrie Irving, top 10 point guard of all time. He deserves to be in the top 75 list. I couldn't tell. You could have fooled me. You could have fooled me with the way he played in the series against Minnesota and in the series against Boston. Where was he at? Because I certainly couldn't find him. He played very well against the Clippers. He played okay against OKC. Where has he been at since? There's 4 series in order to win the NBA Finals. You have to play 4 series. You can't just play well in one and then just kind of make your way through, maybe just be out there just to fill the fifth spot for the team. Again, Kyrie had his moments. He had his moments. I mean, even last night, he was terrible. When they needed him most, he was terrible. Going into the fourth quarter, he was 3 for 13. 3 for 13.
That's supposed to be their coach right there.
I mean, what are we doing? And people want to tell me Chris Paul's better than him.
Take away that one championship. Take away that one championship from Kyrie. What does he have to offer for his career and accolades?
Right there. Right there. Nothing. Nothing. What has Kyrie Irving done on his own? And then even this year, he had somebody. Huh?
He made it to the finals with Luka, but even so, Luka's a top 3 player in the league.
And then he's supposed to be that Robin to Batman. Yeah, I absolutely saw it in 2016. He was phenomenal in 2016 when him and LeBron beat the Warriors.
But then he got greedy. He wanted to be the main guy.
He wanted to be the main guy. They go the next year, they lose to KD and the Warriors. Oh, I'm done. I don't want to play behind LeBron anymore. Okay. Go on. We'll send you to Boston. A rival at that. A rival. That's how confident the Cavs were in sending Kyrie away, knowing that he wouldn't do very much. That's how confident they were. They sent him to a rival down the street. Take him. Take him. We'll still beat you.
That's
exactly what they did the next year. That is exactly what they did. Sent him to Boston. They see him in the conference finals. First of all, Kyrie's not even there. He's hurt. But the fact that they still made it without Kyrie. And then people want to tell me that he's better than Chris Paul. That he's better than John Stockton. That he's better than Steve Nash. What are we doing? What are we doing? So, Kyrie, where were you at? Because I surely couldn't find you. But yeah, Kyrie. Again, I don't want to take anything away from his skill. Like I said, like you said, he is one of the most skilled basketball players to ever hold a basketball in their hand. But that doesn't mean that you just can't show up when you're absolutely needed the most. So
you're also saying where Kyrie's at. I'm also gonna say the people that were defending Kyrie in the comment section. Where are you guys at? I want you guys to come back, bring the smoke to us, and see what you guys got.
Go ahead. Because what are you going to defend now? What are you going to defend? There's nothing to defend in terms of Kyrie Irving. There's nothing to defend. When you have a performance like that in 4 out of the 5 games in the finals, what are you supposed to defend? And I'm not saying Luka was great either. But Luka was the reason why they even had a chance in 2 of the 5 games. So that's again, the NBA Finals is over. The Olympics is coming up, so definitely going to talk about some Olympics, Olympic basketball, and some of the other events in the Olympics for sure. But yeah, so that was good. That was a good segment. I really like that one. Lastly, we'll end of the day on a little bit of NFL stuff. There's some NFL stuff I've been wanting to get to that I haven't been able to get to just because of the finals and everything that's kind of been going on. We talked about Tom Brady being inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. I completely forgot. I should have got that
Did you
that
watch his
video.
speech?
No, I didn't. I heard like some of the clips, like the
You should watch
motivational.
his full speech because I actually this is a little bit on a side note. Remember our player that we coached, Bella?
Yeah.
So she was messaging me last night about not wanting to play for the rec league that we're coaching in right now, and she's saying it's because she lost confidence again, and she just keeps doubting herself, and she told me like pushing herself is a little hard, and I told her watch the speech of Tom Brady and then come back and tell me what caught your attention. And she said two things that caught her attention is when you're a kid and you have to work hard and you have to wake up every single morning early to go to practice and keep working yourself, and there's other kids that play with their friends, you gotta be the difference maker and you gotta step up and you gotta change that lifestyle and know what you want in the future and work on it, towards that goal yourself. That's one of the things that she said that caught her attention. And another thing is confidence. If you don't have the confidence, you're not gonna go far in life. That's what she told me. The two things that he said in his speech that caught her attention.
And absolutely, and it's funny. The other day on Father's Day, I was it was me, my dad, and my youngest sister. We all kind of spent the day together, and we were talking to her. And one of the things my dad has always taught me, he's always instilled in me, because I've played sports all my life. I played sports all my life. My first love was baseball. I played baseball for 15 years. So my first love of baseball, I play basketball. But it's how one of the things, and if I do get a tattoo, I'm getting it tattooed on me. How bad do you want it? Right? Kev, you mentioned it. When your friends are sleeping in and they're waking up and playing video games or going out and whatever it is, you're up training at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're up working out. You're doing 2-a-days. You're doing to be great, you have to do the things others aren't willing to do. Others aren't willing to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go train and then go to school, come back, get good grades, and then leave school, go do another training session. That's how you become great. That's how you become what you want to become. Tom Brady did that. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown did that.
Kobe,
Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic. I'm naming these players just because obviously they're in the finals, but the greats, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, they did what they needed to do to be great. So it's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it, and how much more do you want it than that person? How much more do you want it than them? That's all it is.
and then it's not even just that too. When you get to the level of when you see other hungry people out there as well on the higher level, it's basically they're hungry as well. So now you gotta be even more hungrier. You cannot
Exactly.
settle until you made it to the top. And even when you make it to the top, you still can't settle because you can always fall off of that peak as well.
And you know what? And you'll hear like the top of the top say that it is much harder to stay at the top than get to the top, because there's always somebody chasing you. There's always somebody who wants your job. There's always somebody who wants to be where you are. So what are you going to do to get there? And what are you going to do to make sure that they can't catch you? So it's a never ending process. That's why Tom Brady was great for so long. That's why LeBron has been great for so long. That's why these athletes do what they do so that they can stay great and become even greater. So, yeah, Tom Brady, obviously, he's he's a character. He's a character, obviously, but I have an infinite amount of respect for Tom Brady and what he's done and what he's been able to do throughout his career because he's great and he was great for a long time. Obviously, off the field, he had his own situation, but in terms of on the field, he's great. He always was great. So yeah, the infinite amount of respect for Tom Brady. Let's talk about a quarterback that's not at least accoladed great as Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers sitting out of mandatory
Those are
minicamp.
fines.
Because and here's the thing that's confusing me. He says he wants to be away from football, so God knows where he's at. Robert Salo talked about it. He said, yeah, it is unexcused, but we know about it. It is unexcused, but we know about it. So, Kevin, what are your thoughts on? And I know you've seen. And again, it's not like he just missed all of OTAs. So he was at OTAs, but when he become mandatory, he doesn't want to be there. So, Kev, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers missing mandatory minicamp?
Is he going back to one of those darkness retreats? Because
the ayahuasca,
Because I'm like, damn. And then Salah commenting about it's unexcused, but we know about it. Isn't that excused then?
I'd imagine. I mean, I think they're going along the lines of yes, like we know what he's doing,
but we can't do nothing about it.
Either that or we just can't stop him from whatever he wants to do. So it doesn't make any. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I used to love watching Aaron Rodgers, and I still do enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers. He throw a football and play quarterback. He's a very good quarterback.
Look, don't get me wrong. Brady will forever be the greatest quarterback of all time. But if you want to talk about one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers is up there, without a doubt. The arm strength that he has, the accuracy that he has, he can sling a football 70 yards of pure accuracy and he can still get it done. It's just the talent that he has and what he's accomplished. Not as much as Super Bowl wins, but he has the MVPs to back it up. I mean, the man has won a lot of things in life, but it's just his character and his personality is what kind of confuses me at times. Because at times it looks like he wants to win and he wants to bring his A game for his team, and at times it looks like he doesn't want to be there. At times it looks like he's given up on whatever team he plays for.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said it before. Obviously, the age is a little different, but Aaron Rodgers is the NBA Kyrie Irving, and vice versa. Kyrie Irving is the NBA's Aaron Rodgers. Because I don't know, for whatever reason, there was a point in time when Kyrie was in Brooklyn, he just didn't want to show up for stuff. When he was in Boston, he kind of had that attitude. Aaron Rodgers, he just kind of does whatever he wants. He kind of puts himself before the team. Not kind of, he does. He's one of the people who says, yes, there's no I in team, but there is an ME. So, Aaron Rodgers, again, he's a very talented player. He's probably, again, and I compare him to Kyrie Irving, not because of their character, but because of their skill. They're both two of the most skilled players in their sport that's ever played their sport. But I won't miss him when he's gone. I won't. In terms of retiring, when he's out of football, when he retires, I won't really miss him. Maybe that may change for somebody else, but
I have a question for you. Do you, even though it's just been only 2 seasons, it's been 2 seasons. I think it's just been actually 1 season. Do you miss having Tom in the NFL or no?
No. No. I mean, okay. The only thing, again, it was fun watching Tom Brady, but he was just so good for so long, right? I think, and when I say no, I don't mean it to like insult him. I say no is because I think he gave us everything he had. He didn't leave anything out there.
He's got nothing else to prove, basically, after 23 seasons of playing.
Nothing. He's got nothing else to prove. So again, I don't want to sound like, oh, I don't miss him because he was just a bum or whatever. But he's like you said, he's got nothing else to prove. He left it all out there. So in terms of that, yeah, I don't really miss him just because what else is there for him to do?
Go for
So
10 rings.
yeah, 10 rings, maybe another MVP to catch up to Peyton. I mean, I have no idea. But yeah, he's done. He's done. The Atlanta Falcons were fined $250K, and a 2025 fifth round pick was taken away from them after they were accused of tampering with Kirk Cousins. Again, Kirk Cousins of all people. Eagles were cleared of tampering. No penalties for them after they were accused allegedly of tampering with Saquon Barkley. So I don't know, Kev. What are your thoughts on the whole Falcons? I mean, Kirk Cousins. I mean, and then that guy, and then you pay Kirk Cousins all this money, and then go and draft his replacement immediately. And that's the guy who you're tampering with. And so now you lose a fifth round pick and $250,000. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that situation, Kev?
First of all, you have the eighth pick and you decide to draft a quarterback when you know damn well you have the opportunity to win that division. You have the talent on offense to win it all. I mean, not all, but just be up there in the top in the NFC. So why not draft another receiver? Why not draft Romeo Adonze, or try to see if you can sneak up for Malik Neighbors. Like I don't know why they didn't want to like get another receiver, because that's the one position that they were lacking. I mean, Drake London's wide receiver one by default, but even he had a pretty shaky year last year. And then hopefully Kyle Pitts does have a good season with them this year with the Kirk Cousins, but I don't know why you don't draft another receiver for Kirk. If you know his window is not gonna be that long, if he has a good 3 to 4 years left, I mean, I don't know why you dropped his replacement now, unless if they think he's the next Michael Vick. Um, but even that draft pick still confuses me to this day. And the whole tampering situation, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Why they were tampering for someone like Kirk Cousins. That's just me though.
I mean, it's I don't know what they're doing either. And I'm with you. I'm still confused by the whole pick. Because you signed Kirk to a 4-year, whatever $100 million deal, and you go and draft Michael Penix with the eighth pick in the draft, when there was a Dallas Turner available, when there was, again, like you said, a Roma Dunze available, when there was a Terrion Arnold available. So I mean, it didn't make too much sense. But Falcons,
Falcons will be Falcons.
Huh?
Falcons will be Falcons.
You can say that again. My goodness. Anthony Richardson says the NFL is easier than college. And there was a statement. Oh, he was saying guys in college, they play a lot harder because of where they're trying to go. And so they're trying to hit harder, they're running faster, they're whatever it is. But Anthony Richardson got hurt in his first, season. So again, he didn't really get to experience the NFL for an entire season. Do you think Anthony Richardson has a point?
To a little bit of what he said, a little bit, because in college, a lot of guys are hungrier. A lot of guys have something to prove. I mean, if you weren't a 4-star or 5-star athlete and you were like a 1-star, you're gonna have to like prove yourself in college in order to make it to the big leagues, to the pros. And for me, it's also the atmosphere too. And the college atmosphere on a Saturday night, it's always gonna be more packed, more loud than, in my opinion, than an NFL stadium. It's a bunch of college kids just screaming and yelling the top of their lungs out, and at times you could barely even call audible. You could barely even hear the players that your OC is calling for you. So I mean, to his point of view, like on that level, yes, but when you go to the NFL, a lot of these guys have been playing in the league for multiple seasons. Not only do they get stronger, but they also get faster. They also get smarter. You're gonna have to face against multiple blitzes as a quarterback, multiple schemes, multiple coverages that the DC has drawn up, and a lot of them, a lot of rookie quarterbacks, from what both of us have seen, they always tend to struggle their first couple of seasons in the league. So
Yeah.
the fact that he's saying how it's easier, it kind of confuses me because in college you face against guys that are not as built as like a DK Metcalf, as an Aaron Donald, a lot of those guys. You're facing against guys that just came out of high school that don't have the muscle or build or the physique that they have in the NFL. So that just kind of confuses me of what he said.
Yeah, I really hope he's like just being like facetious or something, or just like making a joke, because that couldn't be more further from the truth. Don't get me wrong, college football is played at a very high level. It's played at a very high level. And he has a point when he's saying, yes, they do play harder. They do, maybe more aggressive because they want to get to somewhere. That somewhere is the NFL. And the skill level, the IQ level, the Kevin, you mentioned the coaching level is all at a ridiculously high level in the NFL. And in fact, the highest level that there is. Um, so again, college football, and now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Kev, you also said it. The atmosphere and some of the fan bases in college football, some are bigger than some NFL teams. So like Alabama, I'm sure has a bigger fan base than some actual NFL teams.
Ohio State,
Ohio State, Michigan,
LSU.
LSU. So again, I'm absolutely not debating that at all. But in terms of the skill level, that I really hope he was joking when it comes to that, because the NFL is the highest level of football you can play. But it's each his own.
There's a
Everybody.
reason why multiple college players that were good in college, they don't make it that far in the NFL.
Zach Wilson, perfect
Johnny
example. Zach
Manziel.
Wilson, Sam Darnold, Johnny Manziel. Again, like you said, there's a reason why it's the jump from the college level to the NFL level is so huge. It's so big. But to each his own. Everybody has their own opinion. Lastly, Russell Wilson has been officially named quarterback so far, QB1 so far through minicamp and OTAs. Kevin, I want to ask you, how long is it before Justin Fields gets his opportunity at QB1?
I know you're a fan of Justin Fields because he is a Buckeyes quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and you also did tell me a couple of seasons ago where you did have high praise for Russell Wilson, even though I kept trying to tell you he is not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
So it's for you. It might be a toss up for you. For me, I think from what I've seen, from what both of them had done last year, they both had bad seasons last year. Let's be honest. I mean, Justin Fields had lots of hope and expectations going into the season last year, and he didn't perform well.
Justin Fields was okay last year.
No,
It was
but
okay. He
the,
still he
the
still
thing,
took his team to 7 wins.
yeah, but the thing is though, like a lot of people thought he's gonna make a jump, like a Lamar Jackson type of jump.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, because we've seen flashes of what he did the previous season, not last season, but the previous season, of what he was able to do as a quarterback. I mean, he had a bunch of rushing touchdowns, and it was all for it wasn't for no sneaks too. It was all like deep, like long runs. So I
Right.
mean, we've seen flashes of what he's capable of, what he can do. But after seeing what I saw from both of them last season, I think you go with the more accomplished player, the more of a veteran type of player in Russell Wilson. I think it was smart by them because it gives Fields an opportunity to sit and learn. Because if he is their future quarterback, then this is a great opportunity for him to sit and learn from a Super Bowl champion, from aside from what he did in Denver. I mean, he was phenomenal in Seattle. Russell Wilson was a top 10 quarterback in Seattle. At times, he looked like he could be a top 5 quarterback in Seattle. I mean, just the awareness that he has. He's one of the best improvising quarterbacks. I mean, he's able to extend the
Mhm.
play for an amount of time. I mean, being at 5'11" too, like you have a disadvantage, being that tall. But from what Russell Wilson has done, I think by default you give him that QB1 position, and you just have Justin Fields sit and learn from Russell Wilson for a good couple of games, even probably the whole season.
I do like both the quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, I've come to kind of fall back a little bit. But I do like both the quarterbacks. Obviously, I love Justin Fields. He's a Buckeye. He's had his moment. He had his moments in Chicago. But in terms of week 7, week 8, I think Justin Fields will be the starting quarterback by week 8. Um, what I've seen from Russell Wilson, I I don't see it anymore. What I saw in Seattle, I don't see the playmaking. I don't see the improvisation. I don't see the throws he used to make. I mean, there was a point in time Russell Wilson was the best deep ball thrower in the NFL, and it wasn't even close. Um, so I'm gonna give it to maybe week 7, week 8, and I think
The
Tomlin.
only thing I have with that is starting him into the middle of the season is if that team is struggling, why not just have Justin Fields learn and possibly start the next season? Why throw him into a situation where if he fails again, that's gonna demoralize his whole entire rest of his career.
And
If
if you,
if he,
huh?
if he doesn't progress well,
And if he was playing for another team, I'd absolutely agree with you. But in Pittsburgh, what's the expectation every single year?
playoffs.
Playoffs, Super Bowl. That is what Pittsburgh Steelers fans. That is the organization. That is the organization. Um, so if this was like the Saints or you know the Colts, yeah, I would say that. Even if Russell Wilson is struggling, just have Justin Fields sit behind him and learn all season. But if they're losing and they're struggling, oh, Justin Fields is gonna go in there. If Russell Wilson doesn't, if he keeps messing around, Justin Fields will take his spot in there like that because they expect to win. They expect to. That's the expectation. The Super Bowl every year. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season for a reason. For a reason, and it's because of the franchise he plays for. 55 years, and the Steelers have had 3 head coaches. So, if it was any other team, I would absolutely agree with you. But because of the historic franchise that they are playing for this year, if Russell Wilson is struggling, he's making it tough to make ends meet. Week 7, week 8 max before Justin Fields goes in and takes over at QB1. But that's going to close out today's episode of Gumball Sports Machine. This is this Tuesday edition. We will be back tomorrow to talk about, well, not really much going on in sports anymore. The finals are done. So, but free agency, NBA free agency starting soon. The draft is a week from Thursday. The NBA draft, that is a week from Thursday. We're going to have some different guests on, some new guests. So definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, so for today, that's going to close out today's show. Somebody, Swain said, rest in peace to the NBA, man. But that's the thing. Like, real quick, the entire playoffs, I had so much fun watching. My team was out in the first round, but I had so much fun watching the 7-game series between Orlando and Cleveland, the 7-game series between New York and Indiana, and the 7-game series Minnesota and Denver. Like, it was a good playoffs. It was a very good playoffs. The finals were terrible, and that's happened back-to-back years. But last year the playoffs weren't nearly as good, but back-to-back years the finals were just terrible.
Do you think the Timberwolves would have had a better fight against the Celtics than the Mavericks, or
No. In fact,
would have
I
been the
think they
same
would have got
outcome?
swept. I think they would have got swept. I think the only team that was competing with Boston is Denver. I think that's the only team that would have competed with them and made it a good series. I
But
think
even
Boston
with- even
would have
even
won.
with Denver, they probably would have been gassed going to the finals as well.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you could make the argument Boston played, obviously they played a bunch of injured teams. They played a Heat without Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier. They played who they played? They played the Cavs, and Donovan Mitchell got hurt early in that series. They played the Pacers, and Tyrese Halliburton got hurt early in that series. No, that's fair. Can you see that, Kevin? No, that's facts, though. That's facts. But no, that's gonna wrap it up, though. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. same time. For Kev, thank you as always for him and for yours truly. We're out. We will see you tomorrow.
Have a good one, y'all.
Yes, sir.